Hello and welcome. I'm Saeed from StoryPlanet.net. Dive right into the essence of the most captivating books without reading them cover to cover. Whether you're on the go, at the gym, or just relaxing at home, we offer you a unique and enriching listening experience. Today, we are exploring the book To Pixar and Beyond, a creation by Levy. To Pixar and Beyond, 2016, recounts the journey of Lawrence Levy and Steve Jobs as they transformed Pixar, a little-known and struggling computer imaging company, into a multi-billion-dollar animation studio. Throughout this process, Pixar encountered various obstacles both internally and externally. However, these challenges were overcome using innovative and well-thought-out solutions, which ultimately paved the way for the company's remarkable triumph. Before we delve into these revelations, it's interesting to note that Lawrence Levy, a graduate of Harvard Law School, began his professional journey at the prominent Silicon Valley law firm Sonsini Goodrich Rosati. Subsequently, he held executive positions at Electronics for Imaging, a pioneering color desktop publishing startup. In 1994, Levy joined Pixar as its executive vice president and chief financial officer. In 2003, he co-founded the Juniper Foundation, an organization dedicated to promoting traditional meditation practices in today's contemporary society. With 8 key ideas to unveil, brace yourself for a deep dive into this captivating book on StoryPlanet.net. To start, learn about Pixar's success against overwhelming odds and what you can gain from their story. This text talks about Pixar's success story and how Lawrence Levy and Steve Jobs turned the company around. Despite initial challenges, Pixar became a box office powerhouse, generating $14 billion in sales. The summarizer explores Lawrence Levy's doubts about joining Pixar, the connection between Mozart and blockbusters, and the influence of Buddhism on Pixar's strategy. Key idea number 1. Lawrence Levy was attracted to Pixar because of the opportunity to work in an inspiring environment. In 1994, Lawrence Levy received a call from Steve Jobs to help run and develop Pixar. Despite Pixar's financial struggles, Levy was impressed by the company's potential and the visionary leadership of Ed Catmull and John Lasseter. He ultimately decided to accept the role of executive vice president and chief financial officer at Pixar. Key idea number 2. Levy joined Pixar when none of their projects seemed successful. When Ed Catmull joined Pixar, he faced a challenge as the employees were wary of Steve Jobs and felt he was not part of their culture. Catmull decided to focus on understanding Pixar's work and finding ways for the company to make money. He saw potential in the patent for motion blur, which led to licensing agreements with Microsoft and Silicon Graphics, bringing in some revenue. However, Pixar's other projects like animated commercials and short films were costly and not financially viable. The only project that offered potential profit was Toy Story, but the contract with Disney limited Pixar's share of profits. Overall, making money for Pixar seemed difficult. Key idea number 3. Pixar's profitability relied on the entertainment industry, despite the inherent risks involved. Levy's quest to make Pixar profitable led him to discover that home video sales were a lucrative opportunity for animated films. He saw potential in focusing on entertainment, but recognized the challenges and risks. He learned from Disney's diversification and understood that Pixar needed a solid business plan. Taking Pixar to the stock market through an IPO was crucial, but the animation industry had a history of unsuccessful IPOs. Generating profit growth would also be a challenge. Developing a solid business plan became the next priority. Key idea number 4. Pixar's success was built upon a 4-pillar business plan. Pixar's success relied on a 4-pillar business plan. The first pillar was to increase Pixar's share of film profits from less than 10% to at least 50%. The second pillar was to raise funds through an IPO to cover production costs and have leverage in negotiations with Disney. The third pillar was to grow the company to produce multiple films at once instead of one every 4 or 5 years. The fourth pillar was to have the Pixar name credited on their films, establishing themselves as an animation company. Key idea number 5. Pixar successfully completed its initial public offering, IPO, and achieved a valuation of $1 billion thanks to the support of prominent investment banks. In 1995, Pixar needed to raise money through an IPO and approached investment banks Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley, but they declined. Pixar then successfully enlisted the help of Silicon Valley Bank, Robertson Stephens, entertainment bank Cowen and Company, and Apple's former investment bank Hambrecht and Quist. With their support, Pixar's IPO yielded a valuation of $1.5 billion, making Steve Jobs a billionaire. Additionally, Pixar's film Toy Story exceeded expectations by earning over $190 million at the box office. Key idea number 6. Investing in and trusting Pixar's story team was crucial for producing more great films. After the success of their IPO and Toy Story, Pixar needed to produce more hit movies to maximize their investment. They aimed to release at least one film a year, but their story team consisted of only 5 people. To address this, they decided to release films 18 months apart, but knew each film had to be a big hit for financial viability. They needed to expand their story team and created Pixar University to train and develop talent. They also had to determine who would make creative decisions, with John Lasseter arguing for full creative control for his story team to make heartfelt movies. Key idea number 7. Pixar's success led to more favorable terms in its new agreement with Disney. In 1996, Pixar had a lot of money and success from Toy Story, so they decided to renegotiate their deal with Disney. They wanted a bigger share of profits, their branding on all films, creative control, and specific release dates. However, Disney initially refused to give them equal billing. Eventually, Disney offered equal billing in exchange for the right to buy Pixar stock, and Pixar agreed as long as Disney couldn't control them. They signed a new agreement that fulfilled all of Pixar's demands. Key idea number 8. Levy and Jobs gained valuable life lessons from their time at Pixar. In February 1997, Pixar signed a new deal with Disney, leading to years of success and the release of award-winning films. Pixar's stock market value reached $6 billion in 2005. To reduce risk, Pixar was sold to Disney in a $7.4 billion deal. Steve Jobs and Lawrence Levy learned valuable lessons from their time at Pixar, with Jobs applying his knowledge to Apple's success. Levy discovered the middle way, a philosophy of balancing creativity and practicality, which he saw reflected in Pixar's success. Pixar thrived when its focus, business strategy, and creative freedom were in balance. In conclusion, Pixar's success was not easy, as the company was losing money and lacked a business strategy. They focused on 4 pillars to become viable: increasing film profits, raising funds through an IPO, making more movies, and building a well-known brand. Despite doubts and rejections, Pixar achieved the impossible and learned valuable life lessons along the way. To further explore Pixar's approach to creativity, check out the book Creativity, Inc. by Ed Catmull and Amy Wallace. Thank you for listening to this summary. If you enjoyed this exploration, we invite you to discover other fascinating books on storyplanet.net. Don't wait any longer. A multitude of books, stories, and knowledge await you there. See you soon on storyplanet.net.